Hey everybody, I did it again. Big old meatball parmigiano. You know the funny thing is, in Italy, they don't eat meatballs with spaghetti. What? I know. Let's make these big old honkin' balls of flavor. Alright, so in this bowl I have a pound of ground pork and a pound of ground beef. To that, I'm going to add a onion. It's half an onion that I used a food chopper and chopped that up super duper fine. And I'll have all the ingredients below. It's also important that you shake the bowl like that. I can't tell you why, but that's what the Italians do, so, don't even play. So I'm going to add 2 eggs to this. Hey, and if you already are a subscriber, thanks so very much. If you're not, please consider subscribing. Also, if you are a subscriber, please check that bell icon and make sure that you have already clicked it, because people are telling me that they have clicked it and it's unclicked again, so they're not getting notified of new videos. So please check that. Alright, so back to the meatballs. This is, I'm going to have garlic powder, onion powder, all your regular suspects in here. This is onion. Even though I added onions, I want onion powder. And of course garlic powder. You can use fresh garlic too, but what is a meatball without garlic? I don't even know. Fresh garlic is always good. This is red pepper flakes, because that's a spicy meatball, right? We all remember that commercial. Parsley. I normally have fresh parsley, but we used it all. But you know what works? Dried parsley. It sure does. So use dried parsley. And of course, Italian seasoning. My herb garden is in the infant stages, so it's still just growing. So once that's back up, you'll be seeing me use fresh herbs once again. But until then, these are the herbs that I grew last year. So they're semi-fresh. At least I know when they grew. So I'm going to add a little salt and pepper as well. No big deal. Next we have Italian breadcrumbs. Italian seasoned breadcrumbs. This is super important. Breadcrumbs, when you add milk, which I know some people are like, milk? No, trust me when I say this. Milk keeps your meatballs moist. So on top of the breadcrumbs though, I'm going to add some shaky Parmesan cheese. And you don't add a whole lot of milk, you just add enough to get the breadcrumbs a little moist. Then the shaky cheese. So far, nothing in this recipe is hard to find, am I right? Every store has it. Now here we go with some grated mozzarella cheese. Again, the mozzarella cheese gives it really good flavor, but also makes your meatballs nice and moist. They don't dry out on you. Then of course, take your flesh mitts, your biscuit shovels, your hands, whatever you want to call them, and just give it a good mix. Don't over mix, but don't under mix either. It's a fine line. The more you do it, the better you get at it. When you can see that all the meats and all the ingredients that are in there are combined, stop mixing. Don't go crazy. Just stop mixing. Well, that looks good enough for me, so let's push that to the side and get our foil-lined tray. Super important, line that tray with foil. Let me tell you why. When I was done with this, I lifted the foil off, clean as a whistle. That's right, no dishes here. So look at the size of that meatball. I can tell you right now, out of 2 pounds of meat and all the extras I threw in there, I am making 6 meatballs. Just pack them up tight and slap it on the bing bang. And the bing bang today is that foil covered sheet pan. Now listen, you can make smaller meatballs, average sized meatballs if you want, and then do the same method that we're doing here for cooking them. However, this is the big Meatball Parm show. So we're making big old look at that one. Monster meatballs is what it should be called. So once I get all 6 of these done, I'm going to show you another trick before I stick it in the oven. So here we are, all 6 balls. Now I'm pouring water into the bottom of this, because not only will that prevent it from drying out, but it adds a little extra moisture, and it also prevents them from burning. Yet the outside that's not in water gets very browned and golden and delicious. So I'm going to pop this in the oven at 375 degrees for 1 hour. Now, you missed something here. What happened? let me tell you what happened. I screwed up. But what I did when the camera was not on was I had a baking pan. I took them out of the oven. They looked golden brown and delicious. I put some of my marinara sauce in the bottom of the pan, put all the meatballs in my baking dish, and then I used the rest of the marinara over the top of the meatballs. I then covered them in shredded mozzarella cheese and slices of provolone cheese. And I put them back in the oven for 15 minutes. After that, I pull them out of the oven and bam, check it out. Look at this meatball parmesan. So good. Let's get a better look. Coming in with the drone for some aerial footage. Still bubbling. Sauce is bubbling up. The cheese is nice and brown. Heaven! Heaven. Let's scoop one of these bad boys out. I'm just cutting the cheese on top around it. So when I pull one out, I don't pull out a huge skirt of cheese and deprive all the other meatballs of their cheesy goodness. So I'm gonna get me a big old plastic spoon. Look at the heft. Bam! That is a meatball. Perfectly cooked, moist, flavorful. Oh, so good. Let's just cut into it. What say you? You want to see what it looks like on the inside? I bet you want to see what it looks like on the inside of your belly. These things are so dang delicious. Let's just cut a little nibbins off here. Little nubbins. The fork went through like butter. And look, perfectly cooked. It's moist. It's delicious. I'm going to add some more sauce to it. What more do you want in life? I can't think of anything. This Parmesan meatball will be one of your favorite things for your family. And you don't even have to cook pasta and clean a pasta pot. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Peace out.